Alright guys, it's Ariel Helwani here. I know I just fought Jose Aldo a couple days ago, but I flew back home immediately because our team found some shocking information, leaked footage of current middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis taking on former 1FC 2 division champion Reiner de Ridder. Let's take a look.
Alright, so Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ridder was announced recently, and the Reiner de Ridder title run might be real. Honestly, if you said that after his UFC debut, people would actually call you insane. Like, people would genuinely look at you with the 1,000-yard stare if you told them that Reiner de Ridder would be actually fighting a top 5 opponent one day. But it's happening and it's real, and he's only realistically one fight away from the title picture. Now, before I get into how crazy it is that RDR might actually fight for a title in 2026, I want to talk about his career before the UFC. Because when you look at it, him being where he is today isn't actually that surprising at all. Now, he started his professional career fighting in European regional promotions, getting up to 8-0 all finishes before joining the promotion 1FC, where he continued his unbeaten streak to 11-0 before eventually earning a title shot against An Lang Sang.
Trying to crush the chin of Allah. Oh, it's sliding underneath the chin. Is it gonna happen? Oh my word!
He entered the underdog but got the rear naked choke, officially becoming the 1FC light heavyweight champion while still being undefeated. After this, he challenged An Lang Sang again, but this time for the heavyweight championship, in which he won a unanimous decision, officially becoming a double champ at 1FC, which sounds more impressive than it actually is. While 1FC is a very respected organization with very talented strikers, the 1FC MMA scene, at least in the higher weight classes, is very lacking and the roster is tiny. According to Wikipedia, and from what I understand, light heavyweight has like 3 people in the division and heavyweight has about 9. And also, just a side note, from what I understand from like watching 1FC, these aren't all the people in the division, these are just the guys signed to 1FC. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there aren't just like 3 people fighting for 1 belt. So although double champ sounds impressive, it really isn't as impressive in 1FC, like even compared to like PFL and Bellator standards. He then went on to defend his titles twice, once at light heavyweight and one at heavyweight, before finally defending his light heavyweight belt against Anatoly Malikin.
If you've ever shaken hands with Anatoly Malikin, he's got 2 hands that are like anvils, and that's when they're not moving at you. That's it. He's full. Somehow RDR still he's out. He's out. That's it. Malikin.
Anatoly ended up finishing him in the first round. That was also a pretty accurate representation of what I'm going to do to you if you don't subscribe. So unless you want to feel the Polish power, I highly suggest that you subscribe immediately, okay? Anyway, this finish over RDR made Anatoly the first and only guy to ever have beaten RDR. So if RDR actually somehow becomes champ now, they really need to bring in Anatoly and do some like Walmart version of Adesanya versus Pereira. RDR then went on to fight Anatoly again, but this time defending his middleweight championship. Also, sorry for getting it mixed up because I just realized I've been calling RDR a heavyweight and a light heavyweight champion. It was because for some reason on Tapology it's listed as a heavyweight championship fight and a light heavyweight championship fight. But in his second fight against Anatoly, where he was defending his middleweight belt, he eventually retired in the 3rd round. But in the sad way, unlike Shamil Gaziev, who retired against Rosenstrike because he was just kind of hungry. So yeah, unlike the GOAT Shamil Gaziev, RDR basically just got beat the shit out of, losing to Anatoly a second time and closing his chapter at 1FC. Now finally, his last fight before he joined the UFC, he fought at UAE Warriors, where he KO'd a Turkish guy whose name I won't even try to pronounce because it kind of sounds like a shout from Skyrim. Now originally I thought that giving a former 2-division 1FC double champion, who is still in his prime, a fight with Gerald Meerschaert as his debut in the Apex was insanely disrespectful, okay? It makes it even crazier knowing that they were about to give Aaron Pico Movsar Evloev. This guy wasn't even a champ at Bellator or PFL, he was like a prospect from like 20 million years ago. And then Patricio Pitbull got Yair Rodriguez, who was a top 5 opponent, and then they go and give a still in his prime RDR Gerald Meerschaert. But then this fight somehow ended up being an absolute war and single-handedly ruined any type of hype that RDR had. Like, it's just not a good look to go to war with an unranked GM3. I mean, both guys were so gassed by the time RDR finally got the submission, GM3 literally tapped like it was a slow clap. Now, coming off the GM3 win, I thought this guy was complete garbage. His striking looked goofy, his grappling didn't seem that dangerous, and he was pretty gassed by the end of the fight. So when he went on to fight Holland, I thought that this was a complete mismatch. Kind of like, you know, like Brock Lesnar versus Hasbulla, you know? With Kevin Holland obviously being Hasbulla in this case, because we all know that Hasbulla beats Brock Lesnar. On everyone's soul but mine, especially Titano's soul, I truly believe that Hasbulla would beat Brock Lesnar in hand-to-hand combat. I genuinely thought that this was an easy round 1 KO for Kevin Holland, just because of how bad the GM3 fight was and how bad RDR striking was. But then the fight actually happened.
Gevaarlijk. Op het moment dat je 2 handen op één hand van de ander, van je tegenstander hebt, dan ben jij degene met de controle. Body triangle nu ook te pakken hier door Ridder. En hij heeft nog 1,5 minuut om te werken.
Om die arm onder de kin te krijgen. Het zit er onder Reiner.
This is what changed my mind on RDR. I mean, Kevin Holland at middleweight, when he's constantly talking about how much he doesn't care about winning, isn't exactly the greatest win ever. But to take him down, control him, and then sub him on top of that is very impressive. Like, Kevin Holland isn't just some bum in jiu-jitsu, and RDR just absolutely destroyed him. But I still had some doubts about RDR after that fight, because the ground game we always knew was good, but his striking was the real question mark. Now, this was an absolute joke of a matchup. Honestly, the fact that Bo Nickal was minus 325 going into this fight was genuinely insane. I mean, RDR was just better everywhere. He had more experience, more skill. Meanwhile, Bo Nickal was practicing overhands against Paul Craig. I expected RDR to win, but to win as easily as he did was very impressive. I mean, this was the fight where my opinion of the Ridder really changed. He showed good fight IQ, he showed a very dangerous clinch striking game, and just an insanely high level of experience, which just makes it a really good win. Even if it's a win over Bo, which really isn't that impressive, it's the way that he did it. He ran through him, beat him everywhere, and just broke him down. So overall, RDR is just actually the GOAT. He has a solid resume with a lot of experience. He's very skilled everywhere except on the feet, where he kind of looks like Death Sentence. Honestly, saying that kind of feels disrespectful to Death Sentence. But back to RDR, can he beat Robert Whittaker? Honestly, I'm leaning towards RDR in that matchup. It's pretty close, but RDR has a huge size advantage, which I think is going to help him a lot in the grappling. And as good as Robert Whittaker is in the striking, I don't think he's going to KO RDR. I think RDR is way too tough for that. And I think if Whittaker can't really control him with the striking or knock him out early, I think that RDR is just going to break him down as the fight goes on. And if he beats Robert Whittaker, he will be fighting either Khamzat Chimaev or Dricus du Plessis for the belt. I want you guys to let me know if you think that RDR could beat Khamzat or Dricus for the belt, because I honestly think that we're witnessing the RDR title run.
Finna take that lounge truck to Japan. I like the nigga, get your bands up. Yes, you can.